Hello and welcome to the Keep It Local Maine podcast, where we interview local business owners and Maine residents to learn more about what they do, who and what inspires them, and how they use experiences to steer them into the future.
My name is Kimberly Regalinski.
And I'm Todd Regalinski.
And we are the publishers of Keep It Local Maine, a local magazine that helps showcase local businesses to the people in and around their communities. Thank you for tuning in today to our weekly podcast that you can subscribe to on Podbeam, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can learn more about us at keepitlocalmaine.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram through the links in the show notes. In this episode, we will be talking to Jason Perkins from Perk's Beer and Beverage.
Jason and his wife Laura are the owners of Perk's Beer and Beverage in Scarborough. They're both originally from southern New Hampshire and have been living in Scarborough for the past 15 plus years. They have 2 children in the Scarborough School District and take great pride in their community. Perk's is a craft beer and fine wine store located in the Cabela's Plaza in Scarborough. Since opening in May of 2019, they've been blown away by the local support that they've received. They work hard to stock the best local craft beer, but also carry larger domestic and import brands. Their wine selection is comprised of many labels that you won't find in chain stores, and their goal is to stock something for everyone, whether you're a wine aficionado or new to the craft beer scene. So welcome to the show, Jason.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. So I believe the first question here goes to Kimberly.
All right,
So
here
what?
we go. Sorry.
I'm totally leaving all this in right now. I just want you to know.
Yeah, here we go.
Don't be surprised.
So, Jason, yes, thank you so much for coming to the show today. And can you tell our audience, our vast audience out there, how you got started in the business?
Yeah, definitely. So owning my own business is something that I had always wanted to do, as far as I can remember back. And to combining that with a passion for craft beer that we have, it was a good fit. I actually started this business plan about 10 years ago. I had been working on it, always been thinking about it. And just a company that I had been with for over 15 years, they were just going through some changes, and timing worked out perfectly, in terms of our family and our location. We just felt it was time to go for it. Then we found the location in the Cabela's Plaza, just started to put our vision together that way. It's only a couple miles from our house, and we were off and running.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys really have a great location. I mean, it's very easy to get to, if you're coming from away, as they say in Maine, even you can just jump off the turnpike and there you are right there. So it's a great location, and, plenty of parking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we've definitely grabbed a lot of, we call them regular tourists coming off that exit there that we'll see when they're going up to their summer camps, which is always nice. And blending that in with our local regulars has been a really good mix of customers for us.
Yeah, that's great. So you said you had been planning this for 10 years.
Yes. It was just about 10 years ago. I, just kind of had it in my head. Took some classes through the local SCORE chapter. And they helped me kind of do a rough business plan. And then it just went on to the back burner for a little while, but it was always in the back of my head. And like I said, timing was right, so we decided to go for it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Now, how did you kind of get interested in craft beer? Because I think that's a different thing for each person. What was kind of your entry point for that? Maybe just as a fan.
That's a tough one, because that whole scene is ever evolving. Like I remember when we first moved to Maine, it was when we were living in Portland. We would go to Gritty's a lot of times, and we would hit the places down there that really started getting us introduced into the craft realm of things. I can remember distinctly like Peak Organic was one of our favorite kind of early craft beers that we got into, and obviously a lot has happened in that market segment since then.
Yeah. I'm curious about that, just because I remember back, oh my God. Well, I'm aged enough now that I remember kind of the first boom in that, the first boom that I remember back when it was like, Sam Adams was still kind of smallish, and you had like Pete's Wicked Ale, which I don't know what happened to Pete, but apparently he disappeared off the face of the earth or something. But stuff like that. That was the cool thing then, because otherwise it was just kind of the normal, the big. I was going to say distilleries. No, not distilleries, breweries. And that was their thing.
It was like the long trails, the magic hats, like those.
Yeah.
That was really my first like entry into the whole craft beer realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day because I grew up in southern New Hampshire, when you couldn't get Magic Hat in New Hampshire, which seemed kind of weird because it's like, it's right next door. it's not that far from here. And, so it's always just kind of interesting for me where people kind of jumped on that train along the way. Now, the other thing I imagine, just as a person who's run a business that has a physical storefront, is that the past, 8 months or so, or as I like to call it, the last like dozen or so years that have been 2020, has probably been a lot of change for you. And how has your business changed because of COVID, positive and negative?
Yeah, definitely. Being so new, we really felt we had to adjust and educate ourselves as fast as possible to the ever-changing scene when COVID surfaced. At the beginning, everybody, we were kind of weary of going in public, visiting retail stores, and the biggest positive thing that's come out of it is we were able to get our online store up and running very quickly, where people could shop online. Our website has all of our items, pictures, descriptions for everything we have. You could place curbside orders or delivery within the town of Scarborough through the website. That got us through the COVID early on, just because not only did they let us keep our doors open and keep moving product, but it opened us up to many more customers that probably never would have found us before. Just the ease again of the curbside and deliveries. Where we found ourselves driving all over Scarborough, and I never really knew how many neighborhoods were in Scarborough. Living here for 15 years, it was pretty insane.
Wow.
Some of the places we delivered to. So that's been a bonus for us. A big thing for us is we want people coming in. We want to learn the names. We want to feel like part of the community, but being able to offer many different shopping options for our customers was important then, and it's going to be important moving forward. I think it's just, we've got to a spot where we love the curbside local restaurants, being able to do stuff like that. So
yeah,
I don't see curbside going away. I think it's just we'll see more of it, and as the winter approaches, we'll probably see a lot more of deliveries on our end out to the town, out to the homes in Scarborough, just to make it easier for everybody.
Yeah, I got to say, I was impressed. As the graphics geek who puts together the ads, I was really impressed when it came time to do your ad, kind of after COVID had really hit, and you already had the online store up.
Yeah, we were
quick.
We were very fortunate. Our in-store POS system is very flexible, and I was able to tie that directly to an app, which turns into our online store. It was definitely some long nights at first to get it going, but as soon as it's up there, and we're still making tweaks to it all the time. We're still learning about it, but like I said earlier, that I don't know where it would be, and I don't want to think of where it would be if we didn't have an online store early on in this whole process.
Yeah, and the curbside pickup, just for me, that's been kind of I've never been one to do curbside anything. I don't even actually like to use drive-throughs. I'm always that person who'll, and Kimberly gives me, kind of a look when I pull into a place, and she's like, "You can just go to the drive-through." I'm like, "No, I want to walk in." So it's been very weird for me doing all the curbside pickup and all that. But the couple times I've stopped by your place and done curbside pickup, it was really easy, and it is like actually really convenient. It's almost changed my mind on the idea of like not getting out of my car. It's almost.
That's obviously our whole goal on that end, and we have a point now where some of our regulars still come in on Friday or Saturday and look through our selection and take their time, but during the week, it's the convenience factor of wherever you are, whenever. We get orders coming through anywhere from 7 in the morning to 11 at night coming through. So it proves that the convenience of it is definitely definitely a benefit for all of our customers.
Yeah. And I mean, you think that's something that's going to be around? I mean, hopefully, we're looking at the end of COVID at some point here, but do you think that's one of those changes that for your business, maybe delivery might not be there, but the curbside pickup might stick around for a lot longer?
Most definitely. I don't see any reason why we would veer away from that. It just makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, the fact that just, from a business owner and as an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur too, it's like, especially during this COVID season, it's really important to celebrate, those, even just those small successes, right? And just to hear you say, that yes, obviously this has affected, it's affected a lot of people's businesses, but like you said, there's things that came out of this. You're reaching a whole nother group of people, demographic, that you wouldn't have reached because you pivoted, because you thought to make change. And I think that's really important as a business owner and as an entrepreneur to be able to do that during those circumstances. And it's so cool to hear you say that, because that's definitely that's a plus, a plus to what you do, and something to celebrate for sure.
Oh, thank you. I think that just to help that too is being so new. Like we weren't even a year old when all of this started for us. So it was we didn't know how business should really be run at that point. So being so new, we were much more flexible and open to ideas, and again looking to take care of our customers, because that's always our number one priority on our end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point about not being in business for very long and being more open to change. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that makes total sense.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say defines success for you? What has, being in business, what has that point got to, maybe that point that you got to that defines, okay, yes, we've made it to this point. What would you say defines success in your business or life?
Yeah, definitely in our business that we're in on the retail side, it's, it was from the get-go. We always wanted to be able to provide something to the local community, something of value to the local community. We wanted to be part of the community because we've been here for a while, and now it's extending that with the store. I mentioned earlier, we pride ourselves in the customer service end, with knowing our customers' names, knowing what they like to drink, and that goes a long way. When someone walks through the door and you say hello to them, hey Ken, how you doing today? It's definitely goes a long way. Just these small things. We want our store pretty much to belong to our customers as much as it belongs to us. Like it's part of the community. It's the regular customers who really keep our lights on all the time. So, the success that I've seen is that we've built a really strong local customer base, and it's growing every single week right now. And that's an exciting thing for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so I'm going to ask you now probably the big local question. Can you name off some of the local beer, cider, wine brands that you carry? Just things that people might know immediately, or just might be a little surprised, or some that people haven't heard of.
How much time do we have, Todd?
We've got plenty. Digital tape is wicked cheap, so we can go.
On the craft beer side, where we are and our customers are so like local centric on it. Like they're all over the local ones. We have everything from Bissell Brothers to Good Fire, Definitive, Mass Landing. Like anything that people are after that have a good name for themselves. We work really hard to get them into our store. And that's just through establishing relationships with our distributors, with the actual breweries themselves. It's an interesting, and it's something I've learned over the year and a half. There's not much brand loyalty out there anymore. It's more of what's new, and it's what's new, what's local, and that's been a challenge for us, but it's been an exciting one because there's always new ones coming out. And like I said, it's anything local. We work hard to get it in there. Wine's a little different story. There's not as many options. One of our most successful ones locally is Blueberry Sparkling Wine. That's actually right here in Scarborough. So we do very well with that local wine. And on that cider end, Ricker Hill Orchards is a very good one for us and for a Maine cider producer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll ask a follow-up question because I'm just curious about this because I always like
stealing my question.
You can have the next two. How about that? I'll negotiate with you.
Gosh.
So what would you say are your personal favorite top 5 local beers at this time?
That's a tough one. Like I said earlier, it's such a ever evolving landscape, and it's always changing. Right now, I'm a huge fan of anything that Good Fire and Portland is brewing these days. Any style they have is top notch. Definitive Brewing, Particles, they have is a favorite of mine. They have it's a double IPA, it's hazy, really smooth. This time of year, we see a lot of local breweries making their version of the Oktoberfest. So Bunktoberfest is one of my favorites in that style, and it's a really popular one with our customer. For sours, there's a rotating sour from Banded Brewing down in Biddeford called Charms and Hexes. That's whenever they change the fruit on it. I love every single one of them. The one they have out right now is a strawberry and lemon
Oh my gosh.
sour. So you're looking to hold on to summer for a bit longer. That's a perfect one for you. Battery Steel Brewing in Portland. Flume Light, so it's their session version of their flagship Flume. It's lower alcohol, lower calories, but still fantastic flavor in that. Bissell Brothers Substance is always a great go-to. That might be more than 5. I could keep going, but
That's all right.
Might need our own podcast just for that one.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to have you back on because we know that this is going to be an ever-evolving list.
Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely.
And the other thing that I think is cool. I mean, I'm gluten free, so I can't partake in a lot of the fun and reindeer games that has to do with the craft brewing. But I actually just like to go by the cases or go by the coolers and just look at the can art. Yeah. Because from a graphic design standpoint, and just as someone who kind of comes up with names and text and copy and stuff like that, some of the names for some of these beers are absolutely hilarious, amazing, or just will make me kind of shake my head like, how did anyone ever come up with that?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
the labels are amazing, and if you haven't been in our store before, it's a lot of like our base is a lot of like black and white, black racks, black and white flooring, white cooler, but the showpiece is all the labels. That's where all the color comes from. It's on the beer side, on the wine side, and just kind of let them, they spend a lot of time and effort and probably money making those labels and making them attractive to the consumer. So why not showcase those?
Yeah,
it's art.
And it's funny too because cans are now like the new hotness for microbrew. And well, just beer in general, it seems like everybody wants to be in cans. Whereas before, when I was, a young lad, it seemed like, oh, you're drinking out of a can. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Now you need to get something in a bottle. That's high class stuff. And now everyone has a can, but the can just provides such a great canvas for like just 360 degrees, just color and graphics that are just, it just catch your eye. You can't avoid it. So I just think, from a personal standpoint, at least I can enjoy it from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let me ask you this, Jason. Who would you say, who or what really inspires you? I always like to ask that because as a business owner and an entrepreneur, we're always inspired by someone or something, what would you say that is for you?
I think it's definitely my family on that end. It makes it hard as a new business owner to be away to put so many hours and effort into something, but they've been there for me every step of the way with encouragement, and it really keeps me going on some of our slower days when I don't really jump out of bed to get into work. It's always in the back of my mind that, in the big scheme of things, we're doing this and we're building this brand for them. So that's definitely what inspires me.
That's awesome.
Nice. No, you get the final question because I took your other question.
You stole my other question.
Yes, so
that's right.
we're balancing out.
So we always like to kind of wrap it up and bring it back to Maine because we love Maine. It's all about Maine. So what would you say are, some of your favorite places in Maine? Do you have a favorite place in Maine, or what are some of the things that you love about Maine? Just for people that are listening that might even want to move here. We always like to tell them, listen, we have a great state and this is why. What would you say are some of those things or a favorite place?
I'd start with the people, the people, the friends that we have in town, the customers that we meet every day are just some of the best people that I have met. Places, it's such there's so many options in the state here, whether you want to go hit the ocean or go to the mountains or go to a lake somewhere. You have so many options.
Yeah.
And it really is, it's a 4-season place if you like the cold, but there's something to do for everybody every season, and that's the fun thing about it is that you can change along with how the seasons are changing. That's
so cool. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I have to agree, even though, New Hampshire to Maine isn't like you're moving from, like New Mexico to Maine.
Yeah.
Subtle differences.
It's still from away, but
thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Appreciate that. Well, thank you very much, Jason, for taking time out of your day and talking with us about what you do and just kind of letting me geek out about microbrews that I can't drink.
Anytime.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
And wish you all the best with your business. And thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yes. And people, if you are in the Scarborough area, please check out Perk's Beer and Beverage. It's a little art. I think it's like a beer wine art gallery.
It kind of is, actually.
It kind of really is. It's like a beer wine art gallery.
See, there you go.
So look at that. So check them out, and you can also find out more about them in the show notes.
Yes, all the appropriate links will be there that you can follow them on social media. You can find their online store, which has information about, and correct me if I'm wrong, curbside pickup and delivery. And also, actually, you can request things on your website as well, right?
Definitely. If you don't see something on the website, or you've been to our store or just any inquiry at all, there's an option to contact us directly, and we'll get back to you right away. And if it's available in the state, we will definitely do it.
Cool.
That's great.
And also, what I did appreciate about the online store is that, like you said, there's photos of everything. So if you kind of just remember what it looks like, but you might not be quite up on what the name was, you're still going to be able to find it, which is helpful to someone like me whose mind can turn very Civ-like at times.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's a public service, I think, personally.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you again for coming, Jason. We wish you all the best in your business.
Thank you very much, guys.